Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today I'm just going to chit chat with you guys about a couple of things. I hope all of you are doing well, and I am personally looking forward to an uneventful fall. When I say that, I just mean like low key, nothing big going on. So I wish you guys all an uneventful fall. Hope that you guys have a lot of fun, but nothing crazy or dramatic happens. It's still been pretty hot here. Today it poured. It is a Sunday. It poured, and it was pretty cold once with the rain and everything. I'm not really ready for the cold weather yet, so hopefully we'll still have some nice weather. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the mid 70s, so we will see. But the nights are starting to get kind of chilly, and I am looking forward to like going to the pumpkin patch and all that kind of stuff and all the fall things. There is a farmer's market nearby, and they have some really good apple donuts, and I love apple picking and getting pumpkins and all that. And Brandon and I have already talked about carving pumpkins. He said he hadn't carved a pumpkin in a lot of years, so that should be pretty fun. And just this past weekend, he asked me if I wanted to go on a drive on Saturday. Well, he's like, Friday night, he's like, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? And I was like, well, tomorrow I have a couple of errands that I need to run. Like, I need to go to Walmart and pick up a few things. And he said he needed to go pick up a few things. So he's like, well, after we do that, why don't we go on a drive? And I was like, okay, sure. So we get up, we go to Walmart, we, get what we got to get. We end up going to Five Guys to get burgers and fries. And we stopped by Starbucks to get my Saturday Starbucks. And he's like, yo, do you still want to go on a drive? I'm like, yeah. So he said he wanted to go to West Virginia. So we live in Virginia, but where we live in Virginia, we live very close to West Virginia. So depending upon the town that you're in, the West Virginia border can be 15 minutes away. There's another town where it's 20 minutes away, another town where it's 30 minutes away, another one where it's, and it's different parts of West Virginia, these locations are. But he's like, hey, I want to go, on that pretty drive to West Virginia, that back way thing. And I was like, oh, yeah. And the thing is like through that particular way, is how I used to go to college. I went to college for a year at a very small college in West Virginia, and that's actually the way that I used to go. And it's a very, very beautiful drive. And I was like, sure, of course. So we're driving, and it's beautiful. I don't want to say the leaves are changing because it still looks very, very green and lush. There's a couple of like brownish kind of trees, but no oranges or anything quite yet. But when that happens, it's absolutely gorgeous. But that drive is beautiful either way. And down that road, Brandon and I went when we first started dating. But neither one of us have been down that road since then. And it looked so different from the time that we went when it was snowing. And anyway, so we're just talking, sipping our Starbucks, just driving, blah, blah, blah. And over that way is a waterfall, and that actually is one of our first day trips that we went on when we first started dating, was to this waterfall. So he's like, oh, I want to go there. He's like, I want to go in that direction, but not all that way. And I was like, okay, sure. So he's driving, and we're talking and chit-chatting and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not really paying attention where we are or anything like that. And all of a sudden I see the sign for that waterfall. And I was like, where are we? He's like, well, the waterfall is like right over here, and it's a park, like a national park or something like that. I'm not really sure. I guess it is a national park. Um, and he's like, well, I figured while we're over here, we'll go and look at it. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I did you know that we were gonna drive all this way? And I said, you said we weren't gonna go that far. And he's like, well, he's like, because the night before he said, hey, do you want to go on a drive? And I said, yeah. So then that morning, he said he had decided while we were getting ready for the day that he was going to surprise me and drive us all the way to the waterfall. And it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I wasn't really paying attention. And through this strip of highway, it's not busy at all. So it's just a really peaceful drive. And they've got big windmills up on the mountains for, for electric power, with the windmills, the wind power, and it just looks really cool. Like it's, just, so he said that morning he had decided that he was going to surprise me, but he figured I would say something before we got there. And I really just was like enjoying his company and just hanging out with him. And so I was like, he's like, are you cool with going? I was like, absolutely. And the funny thing is I had brought my tennis shoes with us, because I always keep an extra pair of tennis shoes just in the back of my car, because that's how much I like to go walking. So any opportunity. And so before we had left, I had sandals on. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to bring my tennis shoes just in case, because I figured we would end up going for a walk. And so when we pulled into the parking lot, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I was like, I brought my tennis shoes and everything. And so we're sitting in the parking lot, I'm putting on my tennis shoes, and I was like, did you really just think of that? And he's like, yeah, I thought of it this morning. I thought it'd be nice. He's like, I honestly thought that you would have said something, and but I didn't even notice until we were kind of pulling into the park. And I was like, that's my idea of romance. Like, taking me someplace really pretty to walk, and surprising me. Like, some women want flowers, some want jewelry, some want candy. That is my idea of romance. If any of you care to know, I told him, I was like, that is my idea of romance. And he's like, I know. And I was like, oh. And so it's actually, it's just a really beautiful waterfall, and I'll be putting pictures of it on my shorts videos. And so that was really, really nice. And then we drove back, and we went to a local fire station for a barbecue dinner thing with his pap and his aunt. So the four of us did that, and that was really fun. I'd never been to like a firehouse dinner before, and so that was really fun, and it was nice. And then today, Sunday, we just kind of hung out. We actually started watching like old Batmans, and when I say old, I mean from like the 90s, like from when him and I were children. I kind of got the idea Saturday night to watch Batman and Robin. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. I absolutely loved that when I was a girl, so we started to watch that, and we finished it up today. And we had biscuits and gravy and all that kind of stuff, some southern food that was really good. So that's kind of all that's really been going on. I've got a video of the Walmart haul that I got. It was very small, and I got a couple of things from Walgreens. Just kind of little things like that. But the low spend challenge is going really well. Still allowing for fun, but just kind of really being mindful about where money is going, and being vigilant about putting extra money into the savings account and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's going really well. Now, the big news, I have some big news. At least to me, it is big news. So I've mentioned before that my partner, Brandon, who I've been discussing, he works out of town, so he's gone a lot of the time. And it's been like that. He's been at that job for 6 or 7 years, so he was on the road like way before him and I were together or even knew each other. But he had told me that he had a desire to get another job and get off the road, and that was even before, it was like a year before I met him. He said he had really felt the desire to be home and not be on the road anymore. And so that's kind of something him and I have been discussing, and he's actually been looking for a job closer to home our entire relationship. And he would get job interviews and different things like that, but then he'd be far away, and you can't really come show up to a job interview when you're hours and hours away. And he was on night shift, and things just really were not falling into place. And that was, it was upsetting, especially because when the person that you're with, they really want something, and there's nothing you can do but show them support. Like, I couldn't make these things work for him, but I just gave him some support, and was like, I'm here and we're gonna work it out. And so our entire relationship, he's been on the road, and we've seen each other as much as we possibly could, and but it wasn't that much for as long as we've been together. But I say all that to say, he starts his new job tomorrow, Monday. By the time you guys will be seeing this, it'll be that day, so Monday. And he is off the road. So his last day at his other job was Thursday. And he got home Friday morning, and we were able to spend the weekend together. And he's off the road for good. And I won't say what his new job is, just for his privacy. But he literally has a 10-minute commute, and his job and my job are like 5 minutes from each other. So, considering we were hours and hours away from each other and on different schedules, and that is over now. So, that's great. So we went from him being out of town the vast majority of the time, and I worked day shifts, he worked night shifts, and that was, and now that's done, and him and I are so excited and so grateful for, the opportunity, and we're gonna really get to spend a lot of time together, and yeah, pretty excited about it. That's a big thing. And he gets weekends off, and I have weekends off, and it's just, we're gonna be able to get a lot of quality time together. And he, of course, has met my family, but because he was gone so much, he hasn't gotten to spend as much time with them as I know that he wants to, and that they want to get to know him better. And so it's going to be good for everybody all around. And yeah, just some really exciting things going on. Also, another thing, I have had some requests, question type things from people if Brandon will do a video with me, and I have been telling you guys that I have to think about it, since it's my channel, and adding another person onto the channel, and also that I need to talk to him. So I have talked to him, and he said that if I was comfortable and I was welcoming him onto my channel, then he would be more than happy to do, be in a video. When, I'm not sure exactly. Him and I have to sit down and figure out the filming schedule and all that kind of stuff, and discuss what we want to talk about. If he just wants to do like a short, like, hey, I'm Brandon, or if he actually wants to do a full-length video. I'm thinking it is going to be a full-length video of him, so that'll be nice. And he said that he was actually surprised that I invited him, and I told him, I said, well, I would be fine with it. I just wanted to check with you. The only thing is my boundary is that and this isn't towards him, this is just in general, that it's my channel, and I really, I'm totally fine with him, camoing, appearing, my mouth is not working. I'm totally fine with him appearing in some episodes, some videos, or even being involved in long form videos. But he will not be a regular occurrence on the channel. And I've seen people do that where somebody comes on, a significant other or a friend or whoever, and then they get a lot of requests for that person to be on like basically every episode. And the thing is like, it's my channel, and I'm kind of protective of it. And also when I film, he's not necessarily with me, and you know I'm sure you guys understand. But we are in the works of getting him on the channel, so that you guys can get to know him. So if you are watching this video, and you have any specific questions you want to ask Brandon, or specific questions you want to ask me, and him and I discuss them on the video, I welcome you guys to message me on Instagram, or leave a comment, or email me. My email is in my About Me on my YouTube page, and I will take into consideration any questions that you guys have for Brandon specifically, or me specifically, or us as a couple specifically. Just an idea. So, all right, guys. So, chatty video as always. And I did tell Brandon, I was thinking like a 10-minute video, but I said it'll probably be a 15 or 20-minute video once I get talking and, all that. And I'm talking about like when he's on the channel too, just to kind of give him a heads up. But he's looking forward to it, and he's never been on anybody's YouTube channel before, so it'll be completely different for him, and new. It'll be a new experience, but hopefully I'll be getting that out to you guys. I don't know when exactly, but we'll see what I can come up with. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes, and until next time, bye.